Hi, I'm Jean-Luc.
I'm Nick.
And we're the Wellness Warriors. And
it's another recipe time.
However, this is a unique recipe because if I'm not mistaken, we filmed this recipe in the past.
Yes, we filmed this recipe, which is our fondue recipe, last year with my mom when we were visiting her in Sudbury.
But we never released the recipe because it was her fondue broth recipe, which we did not
WWFI it, yes.
Yeah, we hadn't had the points.
Yes.
So we are now going to show you our version of a fondue broth. Some people call it hot pot.
Yeah,
some people call it fondue.
Yeah.
We like to say fondue with
fun guys.
No, fondue with fun dudes.
Yeah, fun dudes. Fondue with fun dudes.
Fondue with fun
so
dudes.
Before we actually show you the recipe, we'll actually end the clip here, send you back a year ago to see what we actually did with my mom prepping for the meal, and then we'll come right back and show you how to make the broth.
See you in a few seconds. And we're in somebody else's kitchen.
We're not wearing our aprons today.
Because we're not, well, we're cooking, but we're not really cooking.
She's here. We're at my
Mom's
mom's house today. My hands are cold.
Yeah, I'm chilly actually right now anyways. I wish I had my apron on.
So the reason we're filming a recipe at my mom's today is because this is actually something that I had growing up a lot. It's called when we grew up, we called it a Chinese fondue.
Right.
It's a hot pot. It's a beef broth based cooking method that you actually take vegetables.
It's a fondue.
It's a fondue.
And when I grew up, we had fondue bourguignon, which is basically an oil base.
Yeah.
Instead of a broth, you're cooking meats and vegetables in oil. So what's really nice about this recipe, however, it's 0 points.
0 points. You can have a full dinner at 0 points if you make this recipe. So we'll actually walk you through some of the prep we're doing right now. So basically all we're doing is we've got some various vegetables that we're gonna prep and cut up. And my mom has a recipe for the actual fondue. We'll be showing that a bit later.
The broth.
The broth itself. We have some broccoli, some carrots, some cauliflower,
some
mushrooms.
Brussels sprouts and mushrooms.
We also bought, you wanna talk about this one?
We actually have meats. So this is beef, and they're thinly sliced pieces of beef, chicken, and turkey.
Yeah.
And so what you end up doing is, we'll explain that all to you later, but this is basically what you're eating. So the only points are your beef.
Yeah.
The turkey and chicken are 0 points.
Yeah, we don't have turkey today.
No, we don't have turkey today, but I'm just saying you can get turkey. Yeah.
You can talk loud, Mom. You don't have to be all quiet.
So we're gonna go ahead and start prepping the veggies and all that, and we'll come back to you and show you how we do the broth in just a bit.
And then we'll show you how we eat it afterwards as well. So it's a full video, and again, the recipe will be available written
They're
out.
all full videos usually. We normally don't cut our videos in the middle of it and say, you're only getting half today.
Okay, so yeah, we'll keep going, and then you guys will see us in a bit.
But also, another good point, guys, is something that I just thought of. You can actually, this thinly sliced meat, we actually have our butcher do it for us.
So you actually go to the butcher and ask them for Chinese style.
For fondue style
Yeah.
meat. Yeah, depending on what kind you want.
Yeah.
But you can also do it yourself. If you have a very good knife and you feel comfortable.
Or if you have a meat slicer.
Or a slicer, yeah. If you have an attachment to one of your, on your Cuisinart stand mixer that slices meat, you can do that. Or you can do it yourself with a knife and frozen piece of chicken and thinly slice your frozen chicken.
It needs to be really thin.
Yeah, because you're going to be cooking it and you don't want to have it be raw.
Well, because you're
especially
boiling your meat, basically.
Yeah, in a nice
And you don't want that it takes hours to cook.
No.
Right? You want to eat. I remember my mom never liked that because it was taking too much time to eat.
I love it.
Remember that?
It's an experience.
Grandma didn't like that at all.
It's an experience.
No.
Non, les policiers, on est sur FaceTime. Spicy.
So you guys saw how we prepped all the meat, all the chicken, everything,
The vegetables. And so now we're gonna show you how we make our broth.
Yeah.
A hot pot, as we mentioned probably, there's oil fondues, and we like a broth fondue because it's 0 points. And all you're doing is basically cooking your meat in this broth. So we're vegetables. Normally, Nick's mom's recipe called for some red wine. We don't have any red wine at home, but we do have this Vino Zero Chardonnay it's a WW wine, and it's 2 points per 150 milliliters. However, you're not drinking it. You're simply dipping veggies in it and dipping meat in it and pulling it out. So we count it as 0. We're not going to
unless you drink the broth.
Yes, which some people do.
Yeah.
You can make an egg drop soup.
Yes.
We never do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take 2 cups of this. I'm gonna pour it out. I'm gonna put 2 cups into a measuring cup. And before I even do that, I didn't even think, I have onions that I want to saute a little bit. So I'm gonna take my, where's my spray?
Right there beside you.
I didn't have it. I have it right here. So I'm gonna turn my stovetop on
To high.
to high. I'm gonna spray there. I'm gonna add just a squeeze of garlic. Again, I don't measure by the garlic, guys. I never have. I'm adding some garlic in there.
So about maybe
2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons.
of-
We like it garlicky.
Yeah.
We like it
And
garlicky.
again, you're making a broth, right? So you want it to be
You want
flavorful.
flavor.
You want to make sure that everything you're putting in here is going to add flavor to the meals that you're cooking.
I know you're all probably going, onions? Nick doesn't eat onions.
I'm not eating this.
But he won't eat the onions. The onions are just there to add flavor. So the onions are in the broth.
How much onion did you put in?
I put a quarter of an onion cut into chunks, and now I'm just gonna let it saute for a little bit and let these cook down.
So while that's happening, we'll come right back when it's ready to add the rest of the ingredients.
Exactly. Just added a little bit of broth because I didn't want the onions to burn. Our onions are ready to go. Oh my God, it smells so good in here. I love the smell of like sauteed onions and garlic together. So I'm gonna start off with my wine. I'm gonna pour in the 2 cups of wine right into there, nice and slowly so it doesn't splash back. And this is going to be delish. And then I'm adding, I normally use my homemade broth, but we don't have any today. So I'm using Campbell's broth. It's no salt added. We've always used it at 0 points. It's chicken broth.
And again, we're not eating it.
Yes, it's only being used to cook our meat and our veggies, to boil them almost. So I'm pouring the entire canister, and this canister is 900 milliliter canister. So there we go. So we have that. I'm gonna throw that into the garbage. And now I'm gonna be creative. Add the spices that you want. I'm using some vegetable boudin, and I am going to use 2 tablespoons.
You mean Knorr?
Knorr, sorry. I'm so
longer
used-
boudin anymore.
It's no longer boudin, it's Knorr. So Knorr vegetable concentrated broth, or bouillon, I should say. And I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of this. 1 and 2. I'm also going to go ahead and add aspartic sauce. This is our chili garlic sauce, and it's I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Yeah, just show them.
It's chili garlic sauce. You can
Chili
usually
paste, anything that's
Yeah.
like spicy. to
we
get
like
some
it
flavor.
spicy, so we're just gonna and again I'm free pouring because we like our stuff spicy. Is that good?
I would say about half a tablespoon.
Half a tablespoon.
For those of you
Yeah.
out there trying to make this recipe, because I know you guys might not like it spicy, but you know, do something based on what you enjoy.
So I'm gonna stir that a little bit. Oh my God, that's
Do you need some water?
so
2 cups of
good.
water?
I need 2 cups of water in there. Or actually, yeah, 2 cups of water in there. I'm also gonna add our famous Clubhouse spices. These are our 2 favorites, like we've already showed you before: roasted red pepper and garlic plus. I don't measure these, guys. I simply shake it till I like it.
But if you want a measurement, put 1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon or 2. Again, if you're watching your sodium intake, make sure that you read the labels on the back so that way you're not adding too much sodium. But like we said, this is simply your vessel to cook your vegetables and meat.
I'm gonna add the 2 cups
Yes,
of water.
add the 2 cups of water.
Voila. So our broth is very light colored. Instead of using vegetable Knorr, you can actually use a beef or chicken one as well, because it depends on what your flavor. We're looking for a vegetable, for a veggie
Yeah, and
flavor
we're
tonight.
adding chicken to it, so
Yeah.
it's actually gonna end up becoming a chicken broth. Maybe we'll strain it and put quinoa in it later. Who knows? I'm also using our basil from Gourmet Garden, and I'm actually going to measure this one because we don't want to put too much basil. We like a lot of garlic,
Yeah, not a lot of basil.
but we don't want too much basil. So I'm only putting a tablespoon of basil because that's a lot of basil already, right? So a tablespoon of basil. Can I give that to you, hon? I got that in there. So now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna let this boil. We're gonna bring this to a boil. Once it boils for a bit, we're gonna drop it down and let it simmer and let it reduce.
So now we'll actually end it here. We're gonna let us, like, we're putting it on medium heat, right, honey?
Not yet. I'm gonna let it boil,
But it'll
and
be
then
on
now
medium.
it'll be, yeah, and less than medium. Yeah,
And
very
how long?
medium.
To be like about 20 minutes.
A good 20 minutes. You want to make sure it's 20 minutes because you want all the flavors to meld together, right? You can taste it as you go along. Actually, I think I'm going to, just to make sure I have the flavor that I want. So I'm gonna take a spoon. Needs a little bit more garlic plus. Because you know, I like it spicy.
That's not spicy.
Well, flavorful. To me, spice and flavor are the same. But spicy is the other one. And then a little bit of this. And I think we should be good.
So guys, we'll let this boil and then sit for 20 minutes, and then we'll actually show you us eating the fondue last year with my mom, and then we'll come right back and show us eating fondue with you tonight. So
see you in a
come
few
right
minutes.
back. So it's dinner time.
We're ready to eat. Yay!
You can see the fondue is ready.
So there's a little stand here, and we have our sauces on our tourniquet. And
There's a
then
flame.
there's a flame down below, so you get actual fondue oil. This is a pot that was given to us, and we absolutely love it. And so we've already got some vegetables cooked
Yes,
in.
I'll pull some out.
Yeah, and I'll show you as well. There's some broccoli,
So I have
some
my broccoli
carrots.
here.
I have Brussels sprouts. And so basically what you're doing is you're boiling your vegetables to cook them. And then we also have those thinly sliced pieces of meat.
Yes.
So I've got some chicken here, and I'm throwing that in.
Beef right
and
here.
he's got some beef. You always have to make sure the flame's on. The one thing about fondue is you have to be patient. This is the great part about eating this meal. It takes a long time to eat.
You make it an event.
So you make it an event. You talk, you converse, you have chit chat, you're eating, you're biting to find your lost piece of vegetable that's fallen in the pot. You lost a mushroom.
So it's what's so fun about it, and you also have little sauces you can add. You can make any dipping sauces. I mean, sriracha.
Yeah, you
So,
can use sriracha. We found this new pineapple habanero sauce that we're really enjoying.
Be creative. Create fondue is again a very low point, and also it allows you to eat slowly, which is good for digestion.
Exactly, and it fills you up because
Yeah.
you're eating constantly. It might take a good hour to have dinner sometimes while you're eating. So I've already put a piece of mushroom in. So when it comes to the vegetables, you don't need to leave them in very long. The meat, especially chicken, of course you want to make sure it's cooked so it takes a little bit longer. Beef, do it to your preference. If you like it medium, if you like it rare, Nick's mom literally puts a piece of beef and goes, "That's cooked enough for me," and then takes it out and eats it.
And what's fun is tonight we're having fondue with fun dudes and
all of you! Look at you!
Hi everyone! That's awesome.
That's so much fun.
So if you guys enjoyed this recipe, please hit the like button below. Please subscribe to our channel.
If you have a recipe for a fondue pot or anything that's really fun, something different, let us know.
In the comments below. Yes,
Yeah.
in the comments below. You can find us on all social media using @the
And you can find our website, jeanlucandnick.com.
Bye.
Bye. Let's eat. I'm starving. I'm hungry.